All right, here we are. Welcome, to Perspectives with a Savage Gentleman, my very first show. Uh, you know what? This is exciting day for me. Happy 4th of July, day one. I'm really excited to put this thing out. It has been really a challenge, um, a passion, something I've been very excited about. I put this idea out a little over a year ago that I wanted to do this, and I've been teasing it out and teasing it out, and have just run into a whole plethora of challenges. Challenges from, well, we were building this house, and my studio, I was building it, and we ran into some challenges with the house build and some delays. A few months longer than what we'd anticipated, but that was just not everything. The biggest challenge was doing the podcast. I had no idea how hard it was going to be to do this show. I thought it was going to be uh, get a camera, get a computer, get a microphone, set everything up. I already had the relationships built with people that I wanted to interview with, and the interviews set up. And so I thought, hey, I can just get on here and talk to the people like I talk to them on the phone. So I did a few months ago. I started the show, and we recorded 4 shows with 4 different artists. And long story short, they were horrible. I froze as I I had no idea of how hard it was going to be an interviewer interviewing. It looks so easy to do. Talking to people on the phone is very simple, but then once you turn that camera on and you start looking at the camera, it's almost like the Cindy Brady is what I call it, syndrome. There's an episode of Brady Bunch where she's very high and mighty because she's going to be on a TV show and not walking around all lofty. And she gets on this show. It's a quiz show for kids. And the producer of the TV show says, hey, when this red light comes on the camera, you're live, you're on TV. And she, the light comes on and she looks at it and she freezes. She stares. And she goes through the whole show staring at the camera without blinking, without. It was almost like that. I turned the camera on. I started talking to these artists and I had no idea what I was doing. So, long story short, I dragged my interviews. I took those episodes, learned from them, and studied them and what I did wrong and what I felt was good. And I took myself to YouTube University, where I learned basically how to kind of put my fears aside and just do it. So here we are today, the 4th of July, 2023, and I'm pulling the trigger on this podcast. I'm really excited. I've been excited about doing this for over a year. And on top of the other difficulties which I've had with some audio difficulty, with some trying to get the proper apps, the proper programs to uh, do the type of videos that I want to do. So going forward, it's going to be a learning process. It's going to be something that I hope I get better at as I go forward and work on my personal skills to speak to you, my audience, and to relay my message that I want to relay, to introduce you to people that I want to introduce you to, some really good and close and personal friends that are amazing musicians. I love music. It centers me. It is what in a world of chaos brings me great joy, and I'm able to um, find peace in a day that's just really crazy and nuts. So I want to be able to bring these musicians to light. Hopefully, give them a platform to get their message out and their music out. There's some really great people from all across the world that I know that I think will be somebody will enjoy listening to their music. On top of that, I want to do other uh, mediums of um, communication. I love true crime. I want to explore true crime. Uh, just it's fascinating to me the mindset of these criminals who, or these serial killers, or these people who have committed some of the weirdest and craziest crimes. So I want to bring some true crime to the podcast for a little bit of fun, spooky stories, knowledge, alien cultures and ancient civilizations, and I want to explore that with you. Um, but one of the driving things that I want to hit at on this show is we live in a really, really, really weird world right now where people have lost the ability to be kind to one another. Uh, we get out into public and we're not too bad, but we get behind our computer screens or our phones and we tend to tear each other apart. I myself have been guilty of that, where I have gone into certain discussions with somebody that might have a philosophical, a political, or a religious view different than mine, and it turns ugly, because we're not face to face talking to one another, and so we can sit here behind our computer screens and we can tear one another apart. It is, I think, the most destructive thing that we deal with in today's day and age. So I want to address that. I would like to, through my show, address how we can be kinder, we can be better to one another, how we can sit here and deal with our differences in a way that is uh, instructive, that we can learn from one another. Hence the reason I named it perspectives. My perspective may be different from your perspective, but it's still your perspective. And I should be able to respect your point of view and maybe even learn from that point of view. So if I can learn from that point of view, from your point of view, and maybe see things differently, then maybe you can see things from my point of view and we can find some common ground. We as human beings are naturally gravitate toward one another. And yet, when we get behind the screens, we eviscerate. There's just guts on the floor. And I want to change that. I want to change that behavior. I'm one man, I'm a small voice in a big world, but I want to become somebody that can at least help some people in some way, shape, or form change their behaviors to where we can start to see people differently from different walks of life. One of my biggest um, things that I've discovered through social media and through my social media followings and the people that I have built relationships with all over the world is culturally, we may be vastly different, but we are the same. We have families we love, we have hobbies that we love, music that we love good food, we love friendships. I've got friends from Russia. I've got friends from Ukraine. Right now, two countries at war. However, the people that I know from Russia, they love their families just as much as the people that are in Ukraine, and they're being pitted against one another in a way that is horrible. Uh, and I want to get into the whole aspect of the war thing, but I have friends from Iran. I have friends from Benghazi. One of the coolest guys I know is from Benghazi who has some of the coolest motorcycles on this planet, and he loves Harley Davidson motorcycles. And he just he's just a guy from Benghazi who uh, has a passion for Harley Davidson motorcycles and good art. I have friends in China, you know, and all they want to do is get up, have a good meal, spend some time with their families, and just be good people. Uh, so we need to come to a place as a civilization where, regardless of what the elites want us to do, regardless of where uh, the, the the deep state, as you would call it, wants to see us separated and apart and constantly warring by race, by gender, by uh, our physical differences, our philosophical differences. We cannot let that level of animosity come between us. They want us to fight. They want us to hate each other. They want the Republicans to hate the Democrats and vice versa. And they're doing their best to make everybody far right, far left, gay, straight, trans, everything in between without seeing the humanity in each and every one of us. So my goal is to have a show that is fun, light, entertaining, where we can explore the cultural differences, where we can explore things that bring us together, such as music and food and entertainment from all different walks of life. And we can find common ground as human beings. I would love nothing more than for my show to be a platform where instead of it being a divisive platform, it turns into a platform of common ground for all walks of life. Uh, I don't want to make it political. I don't want to make it religious. I want to make. I don't mind talking about faith-based things. I don't mind talking about certain things that are controversial that can maybe be talked through. But I want it to be something, a message that is positive for anybody who is looking for a better world. So going forward, I'm going to be um, putting forth the best content I can with the best people that I know, and hopefully we can find something of value in this show. Um, it's very exciting uh, to consider that we live in a world now where we can communicate with one another across timelines, across the globe instantaneously, and messages can be sent and received um, in the blink of an eye. So we have the opportunity with the advent of podcasting and the internet and social media to really do good. Social media tends to be a really destructive force, but it doesn't have to be. It can, and podcasting, I think, is just a really good way of finding alternatives to the crap that's out there that's hurting us. So, the Savage Gentleman podcast, Perspectives with the Savage Gentleman podcast, is meant to be something positive. It's not going to be divisive, it's going to be fun and enlightening. So, I hope you join me. I'm glad that you're here. Thank you. If you like my message, please subscribe, please share, please support me as I work on all the kinks and trying to get things out of here and work on myself as a podcaster because this is my first show and it has been nerve-wracking to say the least. Before I close out the show, I want to say a quick little happy birthday to my beautiful daughter Raquel Walker. Today on the 4th of July is her birthday, and she is absolutely an amazing human being, and she deserves many happy birthdays and many blessings and many more to come. So happy birthday, Raquel! I love you. Thank you for being mine. I want to say a quick little thank you to a couple people. Uh, this book right here was created for me, The Savage Gentleman Journal, and this beautiful display case by some of the most amazing people in the world. Their name's Stick and Rope on um, Instagram. So if you look them up at Stick and Rope, and I'll leave their link in the bio or in the video. Uh, they created this book for me specifically for this show, and each page of this book will be for whoever is a guest and whatever episode is the show is on. And so it's a kind of a journal and a record uh, for the show, and I just love it. And so Alexander and Sladania, who made me this book, thank you. It is just the pride of my office. I also want to say a really, really, really special shout out to Nenny of Mortis Orr's jewelry. As you can tell, I love wearing big, thick, chunky biker rings. So Nenny has created for me some of the coolest rings imaginable, and I get compliments on his rings daily. Mortis Orr's jewelry. He's out of Switzerland. Just one of the most amazing human beings out there. So if you get a chance, look him up. Support Nenny in his business, and show him some love and stick and rope. Show them some love. And again, thank you so much for watching and tuning in. Like, subscribe, share, and we will see you again soon. Thank you for joining me on episode 1 of Perspectives with the Savage Gentleman. I can't wait to bring you more episodes, and we will see you soon. Thank you.